Welcome to Volume 2, 5th edition of LWC News Magazine, covering your campus and community news at 12:30 and 7, Mondays on Dual County Channel 2. I'm Brittany Bennett.
And I'm Ford Smith. Thanks for joining us for your summer edition. We turn now to our top story.
Here on Lindsey's campus, many students are ready to leave for summer break. However, the Student Government Association, or SGA, is already making some changes for our students in the coming year.
Lindsey Wilson College offers a multitude of ways for their students to be involved in campus life. One of the easiest and most effective ways for them to do this is through SGA. This body of students organizes events and activities both on and off campus. The newest president of SGA, Jonathan Joseph, has some changes he's got planned for the next year. We spoke to them to see what they are.
The primary goal, I think, of our student government is to be able to communicate effectively with the hierarchy of Lindsey Wilson, but as well as the students of Lindsey, and to make there be a common gap between the two, as well as for the students to know who's governing them so that we can help them out in any facets that may be needed at Lindsey. As well as we just try to host events, and I always tell my hall with me being an RA that the events aren't going to come to you, that you have to go to the events. So I do think that in a way that the students have to meet us halfway when it comes to getting involved, but we try to make things as fun as we can for people. I definitely think that there's two major things that we need to look at, and the first being the meal plan for the students, being because most students don't use their meal plan all the whole time. And we have to look into that because each meal, if you divide it up, is about $10 per meal. And I was in a classroom full of 30 students, and I asked them, I said, how many of you all don't eat breakfast? And about 25 of them raised their hand. And that's about $10 a meal, which transitions to about $50 a week, about $750 a semester, and about $1,500 for a full year. And that's $1,500 that students are just throwing out. And I don't expect that we'll be able to actually get the meal plan reduced, or actually even maybe for there to be another meal plan. But we need to be open to changes in the meal plan, such as allowing parents, for example, to come in and have a lunch with their students, as well as commuters deserve to be able to have a meal plan because commuters don't have a meal plan currently, and that's a problem because the commuters are as much students as the residents are. As well as another thing that we need to look into is advising, because I've seen that advising is an issue for a lot of people. The relationship, I think, between commuters and residential students, while at Lindsey, I think that there is a gap between the commuters and the residents, and I think that we need to really be able to mesh them together because we're in the end, we're all still Blue Raiders, and we all need to have the same opportunity. And while the commuters do honestly about have the same opportunity, it's more so that they don't take as much incentive because they have other things to do when they go home. A lot of them have jobs, and a lot of them don't have the daily life of a resident. We ran on the campaign slogan, "Make Lindsey Greater," and we're a good and we're a great school. And I think that little things like that are going to be what makes us greater. And there's several little things that are going to make Lindsey greater, and it's just going to be small little incremental changes.
We're looking forward to seeing what ideas SGA has in store for making Lindsey great.
When we come back, we'll tell you about new happenings in our community. We'll also have a monthly movie review, which top recommendations for the big screen can show.
Stay tuned.
Dual County Telecom is locally owned and operated by your friends and neighbors. But in addition to the commitment to our community, we are committed to offering state-of-the-art telephone, wireless, broadband internet, and digital TV services in order to keep our customers connected with the world and with each other. Call or stop by one of our locations today to be a part of our community.
welcome back to the community segment of LWC News Magazine.
There's a place in the community for Lindsey Wilson students to go and take photos, writing, poetry, and even grow fuel crops. Check out this gym located in the hills of South Central Kentucky.
I'm standing here in Lindsey Wilson College archives, where photographs, scrapbooks, and more document the college's 109 years of existence. With graduation just around the corner, students will be leaving, having witnessed the campus grow. But for LWC alumni Ben Breeding and Nell Smith, these items bring back memories of a place much different than the campus we see today.
Well, Lindsey has gotten so much bigger than it was then. There are a lot more classes, a lot more degrees, just a much broader base of students than there were when I was there.
Breeding graduated in 1961, entering with a freshman class of only 134, roughly 500 students less than those who enrolled this year. Now a current resident of Bardstown, Kentucky, Breeding remembers the college as it was many years ago.
Well, there were a lot of trees and a lot of greenery, and it was really a pretty campus. But there weren't all the buildings that there are today. There are buildings where you wouldn't believe there would have been room for them.
Breeding's thoughts on the college's expansion are not surprising. In just the past decade, the college has seen a $40 million makeover that included the addition of 5 new buildings. Nell Smith, a fellow Bardstown resident, also remembers the campus differently since she attended.
There was just a quad of buildings. You had the administration building, you had the dormitory, and then facing this way was the cafeteria, and then the library was facing our dorm.
Both Breeding and Smith attended LWC when it was a junior college and training school. Aside from the physical changes that can be noted, the atmosphere of the campus and the current generation have definitely seen some changes.
I started in the fall of 1949 and graduated in 51. It was just 2 years, and I had a temporary teaching certificate from Lindsey. And then I started teaching in Breckinridge County, but then I had to go to school every summer and get 6 more hours in order to renew my certificate until I received my degree.
Smith lived on campus while at LWC and stayed in what is essentially Phillips Hall today. However, at the time, the dorm was the only female hall on campus and had no title.
Boys could come in the social room downstairs until 9:30, and then they had to get out, and the doors were locked. And if you were out and you came in after 9:30, and Miss Trosper had to open the door, you were in trouble, unless you had a very good reason for being out after 9:30.
The campus life of the 1940s and 50s was a lot different than what students experience today.
And Lindsey Wilson had its first officially sanctioned dance when I was there in 1959 or 61. And the people gave the president of the university, John Horton, 3 cheers because there had never been a dance there before then.
This year, the class of 2013 will graduate from LWC like so many have before them. Though these students will walk away with experiences different from the class of 1951 and 61, they will join the wide group of alumni who, as Breeding and Smith have demonstrated, will forever carry Lindsey Wilson College with them.
It was a very close-knit group. We all felt like family. And when something happened to somebody in the student body, everybody felt it because we were just such a close-knit. And I still feel that closeness to Lindsey.
This is Amy Dockery for RaiderCast.
Home Place Farm wants to encourage the community to come out June 14th for their 17th annual tractor show, or to just take a visit out there sometime this summer.
Coming up next, we'll take it back to the Hill. More campus news ahead. Are you a procrastinator? LWC Magazine decided to find out more by talking with students. Right now, we'll bring you the monthly movie review with Stephen Harris. Find out the lowdown on best summer movies.
Hello, my name is Stephen Harris, and this is Breaking Nerd. Today, we'll be reviewing Iron Man 3. Now, most of you have seen a Marvel film at some point, whether it be Iron Man, The Avengers, Captain America, Thor. You have seen a Marvel film at some point. If not, there's probably something wrong with you, or you're living underneath a rock. Moviegoers have been spoiled last year. Last year, we saw the release of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight Rises and Joss Whedon's The Avengers. We're living in a post-Nolan and post-Whedon world. Basically, Chris Nolan introduced this idea of there being a dark, realistic edge to superheroes, which isn't a bad thing. It grounds them into reality. It takes these godlike characters and makes them human. Josh Whedon, on the other hand, took these godlike characters and made them more than you can ever imagine on screen. When you left the Avengers in the theater, you were smiling like a 5-year-old kid because you could believe these people existed. This film takes place 6 months after the events of the Avengers. Tony Stark is living with an anxiety issue and post-traumatic stress syndrome. He has panic attacks and he cannot sleep. He's obviously rattled emotionally by the events. I mean, he almost died and went into space and flew a black hole. I'm pretty sure anyone would be rattled by that. So we pick up 6 months later. He's building suits like his only way of coping is by building suits. He's up to 42 suits by now. You know, he has a more stable relationship with his love interest, Pepper Potts, but she can tell that something's off with him. And the best part about Iron Man 3 is Robert Downey Jr. He plays Tony Stark perfectly. I mean, you could not ask for a better actor for Tony Stark. His anxiety breakdowns are realistic, funny. What more could you ask? Even though it's kind of not cool to make fun of people with anxiety issues, it comes across as okay in the movie because it is Tony Stark. This is the fourth film to feature Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. However, this is probably the best film he's been in. It takes Tony Stark as a man coping with the issue that he's a man living in a world where gods and aliens exist, and he's just a man in a suit. In the first film, you saw him in a cave. Well, you can say in a way he's in a metaphorical cave in the third film, going into these anxiety cave, if you will. And the only way to get out of it is to come to terms of he is a man and he can fix things. Also returning is Gwyneth Paltrow and Don Cheadle as Pepper Potts and Jim Rhodes, also known as War Machine, who in this film has been rebranded as the Iron Patriot. While both are given more to do in the film, they're competent enough to pull it off well. In fact, I almost want to see Don Cheadle in his own film now because of how well his performance was in this movie, as understated as it was. In addition, Guy Pearce and Ben Kingsley have been added to the cast as well, but we'll get to that at the end. Now, I know most people will flat out love this movie, and I don't blame them. It has everything you want. It has superhero action, it has drama, it has romance, it has everything you want in a summer blockbuster. However, I have a slight problem with it. And this might just be the inner fanboy in me, or the avid moviegoer, but there is a serious problem that happens about the second act of the movie. Marvel Studios brought on Ben Kingsley to play the Mandarin. Now, Ben Kingsley's a distinguished actor, was Gandhi and all that. However, his performance is buffoonish. It's disheartening in a way. When Marvel lent out their character of Daredevil to Fox Studios, that movie was awful. No one's going to tell you it was a great movie, because if they do, they're a liar. It was plain awful. However, you can't blame Marvel for that fact, because it's Fox who did it. However, Marvel had complete control over the Mandarin and his portrayal in this film. And the fact that one of their most distinguished characters kind of fall apart and come across as a buffoon is kind of disheartening in a way and kind of sad almost. I mean, how would you feel if your favorite character on screen was revealed to be a drug addict who, was totally incompetent? You'd be kind of disheartened too. The other main villain in the film is Guy Pearce. And I honestly feel like Guy Pearce is one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood today. You don't see him in a lot of stuff, but by the time you do, it's a solid performance. He almost comes across as a suave Bond villain in a way in the film, which is kind of fun to watch. But I'm kind of underwhelmed by the way he was used in the final act, if you will. Iron Man 3 provides a fascinating character study of Tony Stark. However, the plot does get muddled around the second act, and it goes to weird plot points that are never resolved in the end. However, if you like the first two films, you're going to love it. You're not going to worry about these minor inconsistencies. I mean, I love Dark Knight Rises, and there's a nuclear bomb that goes off at the end of that movie, and no one questions it. I mean, I can question it, but I'd rather not. However, with Iron Man 3, I just couldn't get over a few things and just kind of made everything else kind of fall flat. However, if you like Iron Man, you like the Avengers, you will like this. However, if you can't get past little nuances, you're going to be disappointed in a way. 2013 looks to be an interesting year of movies. You have Man of Steel, Star Trek, the return of Breaking Bad this summer, which I'm super excited about, and the return of Arrested Development. And the best way to kick it off would probably go see Iron Man 3. It's big explosions, it's fun, you get a bunch of laughs out of it, it's well acted. Even though it might have some minor plot points that distract from the overall larger piece of the film, it's good. I wasn't sitting there the entire time with my arms crossed going, I hate this. No, I was on the edge of my seat with everyone else, enjoying it. All in all, I'd say 3 out of 5. But I'm willing to bet most of you will love it and say 5 out of 5 any day of the week. So, that's my review for this month.
Duo County Telecom is locally owned and operated by your friends and neighbors. But in addition to the commitment to our community, we are committed to offering state-of-the-art telephone, wireless, broadband internet, and digital TV services in order to keep our customers connected with the world and with each other. Call or stop by one of our locations today to be a part of our community.
Towards the end of the school year, many students are looking forward to summer rather than concentrating on the tasks at hand. We take a look at the reasons behind student procrastination.
It's when you unnecessarily put things off for a later moment. For students at Lindsey Wilson College, procrastination is a challenge that most face. According to Ashley Miller, the Director of Career Services, procrastination is the foundation for failure.
You end up setting yourself up for failure if you procrastinate unnecessarily on assignments.
Dean of Students, Chris Schmidt, talks about how procrastination can sneak up on us when we least expect it.
And then I never really realized how much more I still have to go until I get to that 0 hour when procrastination is sitting on my shoulders.
Sometimes students feel that they have more important things to do. From movies to social media, there are many opportunities for college students to avoid their assignments.
Sit outside, eat, hang out, sleep, do our nails. That's what we do a lot. Yeah.
I go and play tennis, go outside, sit around, be lazy.
The most common reason that students procrastinate is that there's so much to do at Lindsey Wilson, and there's so much to do that's in the social aspect of being a college student that it sounds much more appealing than schoolwork.
Different clubs and organizations, maybe they play a sport or social dynamics that people participate in. You put that all together, it becomes difficult sometimes to prioritize. I believe you hear more about it at midterm and at finals, because that's when student stress and the tension that they have about, the anxiety that they have about maybe some of the things that they've procrastinated about seems to come to a head.
I was late for my presentation day because I was finishing a presentation.
I had a paper due that was 15 pages. I did in 3 days. With no editing or anything.
Professors know when you procrastinate. They can tell when something hasn't been developed properly. They can tell when a presentation hasn't been developed properly, or when you haven't had time to review your paper more than once. It ends up hurting grades in the end.
It's not just one paper they procrastinate about. It's studying for a test. It is the paper. They also have a quiz coming up. There's a lot of demands made because those are definitive things.
When combating procrastination, there are a few different things you can try.
Know how to organize, know how to prioritize, know how to be, the key thing is to be flexible.
If you put a little time into assignments day by day, you end up doing better on the assignment, you end up understanding the coursework more, and that'll help you in your career in the end. If you schedule yourself to give a little bit of time every day at the exact same time to your studies, then you can avoid procrastinating in the end. When you've got that syllabi in your hand, go ahead and start on some of those projects that you already have the outlines to finish.
With today's distractions, students are finding it easier to procrastinate in many aspects of their lives, including college. This is Chantel LWC for LWC News Magazine.
For more information on tips and tricks to combat procrastination, contact Ashley Miller in Career Services at millera@lindsey.edu.
We've been checking out this summer programs at Wellness Center. Coming up next, details about what the center can offer you.
Dual County Telecom is locally owned and operated by your friends and neighbors. But in addition to the commitment to our community, we are committed to offering state-of-the-art telephone, wireless, broadband internet, and digital TV services in order to keep our customers connected with the world and with each other. Call or stop by one of our locations today to be a part of our community.
We welcome you to the sports segment of the LWC News Magazine. Most of our teams are busy practicing for next season, so this sports segment is dedicated to community fitness. Lindsey Wilson College is home to a state-of-the-art fitness facility, the Doris and Bob Holloway Health and Wellness Center. If you're interested in reaching the top of your physical performance, the Wellness Center offers a variety of fitness classes all year round. The Holloway Wellness Center, which opened up just 3 years ago, offers a variety of campus recreation activities, fitness classes, and a countless number of extracurricular activities.
I remember before the Wellness Center and now you see like professors and students and everyone in there working, and I think it's more mindful to people. Whereas like staff members also do the summer programs and all that, and you see different staff members in there, so I think there's a mindfulness on campus about health and wellness before.
Overall, I mean, it was just a wide variety of classes, and the other thing is that the levels of the classes really ranged as well. We offered water aerobics not only during the day but also in the evening, and I think some people took advantage of it. Some people were a little nervous about getting into the water. But we offered yoga classes first thing in the morning. I saw Pilates classes in the morning. Like a lot of the more, I'm going to say physically rigorous classes tended to be more in the afternoon. But we also offered Zumba, like an awesome abs class, or hardcore class, spin classes.
They had a lot of different classes, and I signed up for the ones that were offered after the Born to Lose, which was last summer. So during the summer, a lot of community involvement, and I think during those fitness classes, there's a lot of community involvement, especially during the Born to Lose challenges and all of that. There's a lot of people from the community.
Right now we're offering some water aerobics classes over the summer, and then it really kind of depends on what we do for a Born to Lose type program again this summer. If we can offer some yoga classes, some Pilates, but then also the hardcore aerobics classes or strength classes, that we will do that as well.
Maintaining a healthy diet and overall fitness is vital in today's society. Many people take for granted how important it is to stay in shape, mentally and physically. A healthy body is a happy body.
With the heat rising, the Holloway Wellness Center is an excellent facility to cool off with the Olympic-sized pool or shed some unwanted poundage for the beach season. For information about the campus recreation activities, contact Joel Peterson at petersonj@lindsey.edu.
And that concludes the summer edition of the LWC News Magazine. See you every Monday at 12:30 and 7.
We'll be here covering the community campus news. Thanks for joining us, and have a great Monday.